There's a quiet ache lurking beneath your skin, a subtle weight you can't quite name. You've always felt it, an echo in your chest, a whisper in the shadows of your mind. You've tried to push through it, to outrun it, thinking it's just exhaustion or doubt. But it persists, lingering like a ghost in the corners of your awareness, refusing to be ignored. Sometimes, you catch a fleeting glimpse of yourself calm, composed, and wonder if that's all there is. No fireworks, no grand revelations, just a hollow calm that feels like a betrayal. Carl Jung once hinted that the deepest power lies hidden within the darkness we're afraid to face. But what if your true strength isn't the light you chase, but the courage to sit with the quiet, uncomfortable parts of yourself? Could it be that what you're resisting is the very key to your awakening? But somewhere along the way, the energy that once fueled your drive feels hollow, and the noise of the world fades into a quiet, unsettling emptiness. It's as if the scaffolding of your identity, built on achievement and approval, is crumbling beneath your feet. That numbness, that disconnection, it's not a failure. It's a sign, a signal that the old map no longer leads anywhere meaningful. Imagine a garden where all the flowers bloom in their full glory, but after a storm, the petals fall away, leaving the stems bare. The storm isn't destruction, it's clearing the way for new growth. What if this internal storm, this confusion and emptiness, is exactly what's needed? A necessary death of the parts that once defined you. Like a seed breaking open to reveal something unseen beneath the soil, you are being emptied so something deeper can emerge. This isn't malfunction or weakness. It's the quiet death of a version of yourself that no longer fits. It's the space before rebirth, where the old must surrender for the new to take root. And in that surrender, there's a hidden power, an invitation to face the darkness within, knowing that true strength isn't built on surface illusions, but in the courage to be reborn from the ashes of what once was. Think of the cocoon, silent and still, holding the promise of transformation. Inside, the old self dissolves like ripples fading in a still lake, making space for what is to emerge. Carl Jung spoke of the self as a guiding star hidden within the shadows, waiting patiently for us to turn inward and listen. This pain, this confusion, is not a sign of failure but a sacred threshold. It's the death of the familiar, the shedding of illusions that no longer serve. Imagine the alchemist's fire burning away the lead of your false identities, not to destroy you but to forge a new gold, more resilient, more true. This moment of silence is where the real work begins. It's the pause before the dawn, the darkness before the birth of the butterfly. And in this pause, something ancient stirs, an inner knowing that you are not broken, but in sacred preparation. Your journey is not about fixing what's broken, but about trusting the process of unfolding. The voice you hear now is not a mistake, but a whisper from your deeper self, urging you to surrender into the mystery. The storm inside is merely the sky clearing, making room for light to break through. Remember, this is your initiation, a sacred death leading to rebirth. The true power lies in your willingness to embrace what is dying, so something new can finally emerge. A silent weight presses down, yet you can't quite see its shape. Why does it feel so heavy, so unexplainably burdensome? This is the quiet struggle beneath your surface, the unseen one that shapes your every feeling. According to Jung, this is the presence of your shadow, those parts of yourself you've pushed into the dark. It's the buried fire, the truths you've refused to face, the impulses and fears cloaked in silence. It's the aspect of you that you've disowned, perhaps because it was too painful, too raw, or too threatening to acknowledge. And now, it whispers back in the form of numbness, self-sabotage, or an ache for something just out of reach. Imagine that fire you once carried, extinguished, hidden behind walls of doubt or shame. You buried it to survive, but in doing so, you've forgotten where you placed your true power. This numbness isn't absence, It's an overaccumulation of emotion locked behind a wall, a memory trying to break free. It's the ghost of your authentic self, trying to reach you through the cracks in your carefully managed life. This isn't just fog. It's a reflection of what you've hidden from yourself, a call to remember that beneath the silence lies a truth waiting to be reborn. And in that truth, your real power begins to awaken. Now that the shadow has been revealed, something deeper stirs within you, a war between parts of your very identity. On one side, your ego clings fiercely to the familiar rules of survival, success, and identity, holding on tight to what once defined you. On the other, a quiet whisper emerges, a call from your true self, urging you to grow beyond the old boundaries, to embrace a new authenticity that feels both uncertain and undeniable. This internal fracture creates a visceral tension. You want to move forward, to step into your truth, yet something pulls you back, anchoring you in comfort or fear. Your body may feel restless, yet your soul yearns for silence and stillness, even as anxiety rises with the quiet. You long for clarity, but confusion clouds your mind. Perhaps you notice guilt creeping in for slipping into old habits, or shame for regressing into familiar patterns. There's grief, too, for the self that is fading away, replaced by something unfamiliar and yet necessary. This split is not dysfunction. It's a sacred breaking of the shell that once confined you. It's the crucible of transformation where both parts are valid and necessary. Remember, you are not failing, you are midway through a profound alchemical process. Though the tension may feel relentless, it is also the doorway to alignment, the space where your true self begins to re-emerge stronger and more whole. Healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about reintegrating every piece into a more authentic whole self. This inner dissonance is the material the self uses to build meaning. Much like an architect rearranging bricks to create a stronger foundation, Jung called this individuation, bringing the unconscious into conscious awareness, allowing the shadows and light to dance together in harmony. Think of your symptoms as signals from the soul, guiding you toward what needs attention. Confusion as inner reorganization, emptiness as fertile ground for truth, guilt as whispers from your deeper self pointing to false roles. This process is psychological. Alchemy, pain transforming into presence, chaos turning into clarity. No transformation happens in comfort. Growth often wears the mask of grief. When the soul reorganizes you, it may feel like falling apart, but underneath, it's a profound act of coming together. Rest in this sacred tension, knowing that what feels like fragmentation is merely the raw material for integration. Like organic growth, this chaos is the fertile soil where your true self begins to take root, ready to rise anew in its most authentic form. Once the pieces of your broken self begin to reassemble, something remarkable happens. You don't simply rebuild the old life. Instead, you start creating something new, something that truly fits. You're not returning to normal. You're designing a new normal that honors your deepest truth. The life you once chased no longer feels right, and that's not a failure, it's an invitation to redefine yourself. This process isn't about reconstructing a fixed identity, but about reimagining who you are at the core. Instead of an ego-based identity rooted in roles, achievements, and approval, you begin building a self grounded in resonance, presence, and alignment. Think of it as designing a home for your soul, not just dressing up your persona. You're learning to be transparent, shedding masks, and allowing your true essence to emerge naturally. As Jung's framework of individuation suggests, this is about becoming the self whole, authentic, and free. It's about choosing what truly fuels you, saying no to relationships that demand performance, leaving work that contradicts your values, or pursuing new passions simply because they resonate. This isn't chaos, it's conscious creation. You're not reinventing yourself with a perfect blueprint, but revealing the authentic self that's been waiting underneath. Remember, this is a non-linear journey, messy, human, and deeply liberating, and as you begin to step back into the world, you do so with new eyes, ready to connect through purpose, service, and genuine expression. This is not about going back, it's about moving forward, rooted in your authentic self, aligned with your deeper truth. Engaging with the world now feels slower, more deliberate, yet infinitely richer. You speak more honestly, even if your voice trembles. You create from a place of genuine impulse, unfiltered by the need for approval. You walk away from roles that no longer serve your soul, and in their absence, you find peace in simplicity. No longer hungry for applause, you sit with your truth, allowing it to radiate outward. This is sacred work, reconnecting not as a performance, but as a living act of presence. Your response to life is no longer reactive, but responsive, grounded in the self that now interacts with the collective. Like Jung's hero returning with wisdom for the tribe, you become a beacon of authenticity. You attract relationships that resonate with your truth and release those built on performance. Remember, your truth is medicine. It heals when shared. This is the sacred space where healing transforms into transmission. And as you step into this new way of being, you prepare to embrace the symbolic, the soulful life that awaits, guided by inner light and inspired participation. Carl Jung called this the symbolic life, a realm where meaning is no longer confined to the literal or the rational, but flows through archetypes, synchronicities, and dreams that speak in a language of deep resonance. It's not superstition or blind faith, but a refined form of inner knowing and intelligence that guides without words, that whispers truths before they are understood. You start noticing recurring patterns, numbers that mirror your inner transformation, dreams that reveal hidden facets of your soul, gut feelings that steer you toward your authentic path. Perhaps a song plays at just the right moment, or a symbol appears in nature aligning with your subconscious shifts. These messages ask you to pause, to trust what you feel, to listen with reverence and stillness. You no longer seek external signs alone. Instead, you feel the shape of life's deeper story shaping itself within. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. In this symbolic way of living, the unconscious becomes a partner in creation, an ongoing dialogue between your inner world and outer experience. Life stops being a problem to solve and begins to feel like a poem waiting to be translated, inviting you to co-create with the mysterious, soulful currents that guide your journey. Now, your true power emerges not from mask or validation, but from authentic presence. This is the moment to share your deepest truth, not as performance, but as a reflection of your soul's voice. True contribution flows from showing up fully imperfect, vulnerable, and consistent through creative acts that mirror your essence, helping others heal and grow, or simply holding space with kindness and integrity in your everyday interactions. Jung's journey to individuation reveals that when we embrace our wholeness, we become bridges connecting inner wisdom with outer service, cultivating a legacy rooted in authenticity and love. Inspired by this, and by the wisdom of others who call us to live with compassionate presence, we see that life itself is a creative, active gift to be expressed with courage. Release fears of judgment or rejection. Trust that your unique story and gifts are needed now more than ever. When you step into your truth, you ignite a ripple effect, your life becoming a work of art and service. Remember, this isn't a finish line, but a new beginning. Keep growing, keep expressing. Keep serving from the fullness of your awakened self, knowing that your authentic contribution is shaping a more compassionate, connected world.